Hello, hello, hello. Okay, first prize for packaging and including accessories must go to this phone in my hand. This is it's not a new phone, well, it is new, but it's not recently released. I think it's about a year old now. This is the Tecno Phantom 8, and I, I don't normally do unboxing. Excuse me, but I just wanted to show you what comes in how it comes packaged. It comes with a lot of things, accessories, charger, USB-C adapter. It have a smart cover. See how it opens up here. Headphones, screen protector. They've really did a great job for throwing in some accessories. This smart cover is a folio cover. Then it also has this kind of plasticky cover, which is one I've been using. And the smart cover is quite nice when it has a window on it, slightly different because it's like a semicircle here, and you can control some like the music apps, etc. from it. So you get a lot in the box, and I believe that there's a Tecno Phantom 9. I wouldn't be surprised that it doesn't have as a lot of stuff with it as well. So kudos to Tecno for including all that free stuff, because yep, you really appreciate it. So just let me move this away. I'm putting it away. Right, now to the phone. So this is the Tecno Phantom 8. I've been looking to buy a Tecno, let me move my camera a bit there. I've been looking to buy a Tecno phone for a while, but I didn't want to go for the really cheap one. There's a couple on Souk that are around the 300-400 mark, because it was just a bit low spec for me. And originally when this one was out, it was just too expensive. It was like, I think 1100, something like that originally, which is too much. But recently it's seen a price drop, and you can now get, I've seen the gold coloured one going for around 500 on some websites. I think on Noon, I think it was at 500. This one is the bluish colour one, which is still about 700, which is what this cost. So what is it? Hold on, let me get this for you. So it's 5.7 inch full HD screen, not full HD plus. It's got a 13 megapixel camera, 6 GB of RAM. It's a Helio P25 octa-core processor. It's a 3500 mAh battery. I want to just check the it's dual 12 and 13, sorry, dual rear camera, and the front camera is 20 megapixel selfie camera. So on the face of it, specs not bad at all. It is running, I think it's called High OS, which is on top of Android 8, or a version of Android 8. So they have a bit of a Tecno skin on it. I don't really particularly like it, and for some reason, even though I'm changing to my Nova here, and I go into the settings and I make sure that I set Nova all the time, I can't. It seems to go back to the High OS launcher, whatever it's called. Anyway, it's not a massive big deal. So, what are you going to do about it? Now, looks wise, okay. So in 2019, it's not a full screen. It's got quite large bezels, chin and forehead here. The bezels are small, but the chin and forehead are pretty large, so it's kind of like a bit old-fashioned now. I think it still looks pretty good. It feels very premium in the hand. I don't know if this is plasticky glass, but it's metal frame at least, and it doesn't feel cheap. It feels kind of premium. USB-C, of course, speaker here, and have a headphone jack. Now, this one comes with 64 GB of internal memory, and you can it has an SD card slot as well, so cool. You can upgrade your memory, I think, to 256 GB. The screen, I think, is really good. I know it's only full HD, but I think it's really good, and I have it on the, let's see, it's almost, if you can see it there, I have it very low brightness. It's incredibly bright, and especially if you're at night in a darkened room, my god, it is searing your eyeballs. So the screen is very bright. Decent fingerprint scanner on the back is okay. It's not the fastest, but it's decent. So all in all, I think it is not a bad looking phone. If only, I would say, if the chin and the forehead were a wee bit smaller, it would still probably be a contender 2019 for a kind of budget phone. The cameras are really good. I've done some video and some selfie. The selfie camera, I think, is excellent. So that 20 megapixel, not that I take a lot of selfies, but I think it is a really pretty decent camera compared to some other phones that I've used at this kind of price point. Now, of course, remembering that when this was released, it was a bit more expensive than it is now. So I did Antutu, and I was a wee bit disappointed. It has that Helio P25, and I don't mind MediaTek processors at all. But the score on Antutu, as you can see, it was only 73,000. Now, which is pretty low. But on daily usage, I didn't really find any issues. See, it's gone back to the high OS launcher, so I'll click on Nova again. It's pretty speedy when using it on a daily basis. Maybe that 6 GB of RAM helps. So even though the Antutu score was kind of low, and that Helio P25 maybe not the fastest, probably quite an older chipset now, but I never really noticed any sluggishness or whatever. I don't play games. I would guess that light games, yes, probably alright, but anything a wee bit on the intensive side, I think you might be struggling with. So good that it's got the headphone jack. Of course, I use the Bluetooth, and I have a lot of music on here, and yep, I think it's it's as good as any phone with regards to playing Bluetooth music on my earphones, so no problems with that at all. I mean, generally, I think it is a nice phone, but I think, realistically speaking, you're going to find nicer looking phones, or certainly phones with almost full screen now, round about that price. Now, Samsung have got this M20, there's some Huawei ones as well. I just think 700 reals is just is too much now. Maybe around the 500 is still a good deal for all the accessories and such. Say 600 tops, okay, because you get all the accessories, and I think that Tecno have done a really good job with that. But this phone came out, I think, 2018, probably summer 2018, so it's not new. And to contemplate buying it now, when you see some of these phones, if you look on Souk and you look at that between 600 and 800 real price range, you've got quite a good choice, and they're all this full screens compared to this one having the large chin and forehead. I'm not saying it is bad, and of course it's easy for this better holding, this, if your thumb's on the the chin and forehead, stuff like that. Probably less accidental triggering of said screen. So I'm not saying that it is completely bad. It's not. It's still a decent looking phone with what I think are better than average cameras, certainly better than the Samsung and Huawei that I reviewed whatever it was 6 months ago, around about the same price. The camera on here, and especially the selfie camera, is just really good. Tecno, I believe Tecno are a Thunder VPN, by the way. It's one I've been using a lot. It's the free version. It's pretty decent if you're looking for the UK iPlayer. It's the free version has been pretty good, and I am now having the NordVPN, which I'm paying for, and the Thunder, certainly for the iPlayer, is just as good. So anybody, just my wee tip for you, if you're looking for a free VPN, it is. I haven't had any issues with it at all. Also, there's this app here. Can you see it? It's called Old Movies. I just found it by accident, and it's not connected to the internet, so I won't be able to show you. Sorry. For those of us who are movie buffs, it's got a really decent selection of old and not as old movies, and it's all free. So get it downloaded and start watching some vintage movies. Why don't you? Really, I've been using this phone mostly for kind of media consumption and doing some videos, stuff like that, and it's definitely been a decent enough phone for me to use. So I've been really happy with it. Other than, I just think whatever that price I paid, I think it was almost nearly 750. I think it was just too much. I did see photos of the Phantom 9. Looks really nice, but I'm not sure if it's available here in Saudi. So let's see if I will keep an eye open up for it. But I really just want to see what Tecno was about, and the build quality, etc., what they were doing, and it seems to be they're better than a lot of these other companies. And Tecno is, if you're like me and you watch British football, I think Tecno are one of the sponsors of Man City, because I keep seeing their logo on the advertising and stuff when I'm watching clips of their games. So they're probably trying to increase their presence in the West, and certainly in the Middle East, and I believe that this is a popular phone in Africa, or at least the brand is more popular in Africa, probably to do with the price, stuff like that. So if you can pick this up for 500, if you don't mind the gold colour one, yeah, I think it's a good buy, definitely. And as I say, for the other colours, the blue one, I mean, 600 if you can get it for around about that price, and I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you're looking for a half decent camera and you don't want to spend too much money. And I'd say that 20 megapixel selfie camera even made me look good. So it is. I would say that's about nearly everything that I can comment on this phone. I'll probably be in the processes of selling this one, so that I can buy my next phone, whatever that will be. I'll just finish up by saying again about the screen. Even though it's only full HD, I think they've made a really good panel here. It is just, if all full HD panels were like as good as this, nobody would be complaining about anything. I think that it is really good. It's very bright. The colours are pretty cool, and look realistic enough to me. And it's decent for watching your media. So that's about it. Questions, anything like that, I will do my best, of course, to answer. And that was my kind of short and sweet review, thoughts on the Tecno Phantom 8. Good if you can get it for less than 600. Bah.